Thousands of years ago, Earth was a planet teeming with life, its oceans shimmering blue under the sun, but the signs of collapse were already there. Today we uncover the story of the Great Melt, the moment our world began its irreversible transformation into the vast desert you see now. Scientists of the 21st century warned us. The surface of the ocean was warming 4 times faster than it had just 40 years earlier. The hot tap, as they called it, was running faster and faster, feeding unprecedented heat into our oceans. By 2024, the planet's temperature breached 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, a critical threshold that brought the Earth's climate to temperatures not seen in millennia. Heat waves scorched the land, and the oceans, the Earth's climate buffer, reached record-breaking temperatures for 450 consecutive days. These warming oceans triggered a cascade of disasters, more powerful storms, the collapse of marine ecosystems, and the melting of the polar ice caps. The heat once absorbed by the oceans was now released back into the atmosphere, fueling a runaway cycle of destruction. Fossil fuel emissions reached record highs in 2025. Carbon dioxide levels soared to twice what they had been in the 19th century. Lesson: we must honor our planet, or we too shall turn to dust. In the year 5000, I sit amidst the endless sands of what was once Earth's lush, vibrant surface. This barren wasteland tells a tale of hubris and neglect. The story of the Great Melt, a cataclysmic turning point in human history. The ancient records reveal a world that ignored its scientists' warnings, marching headlong into environmental oblivion. By the early 21st century, the Earth's oceans were warming at an alarming rate. In the 1980s, the rate of sea surface temperature increase was a modest 0.06 degrees Celsius per decade. But by 2024, this had escalated to 0.27 degrees Celsius per decade. Scientists described it as a hot tap left running, pouring heat into the oceans faster and faster. For 450 days between April 2023 and July 2024, sea surface temperatures shattered records. These conditions coincided with the planet's first full calendar year above the symbolic 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold. Though initially viewed as a temporary breach, it was the precursor to permanent, irreversible warming. The melting polar ice caps were the tipping point. Ancient imagery depicts vast glaciers and shining icebergs, now long vanished beneath the oceans. As the ice melted, sea levels rose dramatically, swallowing entire cities. Coastal regions became uninhabitable and millions were displaced. The loss of ice also meant the loss of Earth's reflective shield, causing the planet to absorb even more solar energy and intensify the heating cycle. The oceans, once a buffer for excess heat, became a liability. Storms grew in frequency and ferocity. Marine ecosystems collapsed. Coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, bleached and died, eliminating critical habitats for countless species. Records from 2025 indicate that humanity's emissions of carbon dioxide had reached levels twice as high as those of the 19th century. Calls to reduce emissions fell on deaf ears. Governments prioritized short-term economic gains over long-term survival. Efforts to achieve net zero emissions were too little, too late. The Great Melt marked the end of the Anthropocene epoch and the beginning of the Infernum, a time of unrelenting heat, poisoned waters, and unbreathable air. It is said that the last vestiges of the polar ice caps melted completely within a century of 2025, leaving the Earth's surface almost entirely arid. The historian's task is to remember and to warn. The Great Melt was not an inevitable fate, but a series of choices that ignored the delicate balance of the natural world. Let this account serve as a reminder of what was lost and a plea to those who still have the power to act. The sands of this desert whisper a lesson. We must honor our planet, or we too shall turn to dust.
Read what the future of the planet looks like in the Chronicles of the Future Foretold. The Girl Who Rode the Unicorn,